You can buy a hot drink at a German Christmas market that looks like it costs €3, and then the cashier asks for 6. You can step into a spa and suddenly realize the dress code is no clothes. You can ride public transport with no gates, no turnstiles, and nothing that screams, "Pay here." Yet a random inspection can still cost you a painful fine. Germany is easy to travel once you understand its logic. But if you don't, it's the small misunderstandings that ruin the day. You can buy a hot drink at a German Christmas market that looks like it costs €3, and nothing that screams, "Pay here." Yet a random inspection can still cost you a painful fine. Germany is easy to travel once you understand its logic. But if you don't, it's the small misunderstandings that ruin the day. In this video, we were skipping the obvious tourist lists and going straight into the best must-knows. How Germany ER regions actually differ, how to time your trip around festivals, how transport really works, how to avoid overpaying, and how to blend in without trying too hard. Stay to the end, because the last section includes a handful of tiny habits, the kind that make locals instantly treat you differently. Germany is 16 countries in a trench coat. Germany isn't one vibe. It's 16 federal states with different rhythms, different landscapes, and different personalities. If your mental image is only Bavaria, lederhosen, mountains, and beer halls, you're describing one corner of the country. Head north and you'll find beaches, maritime history, and cities that feel closer to Scandinavia than the Alps. Go west and you'll run into river valleys lined with castles and old towns. Go east and you'll find dramatic architecture and landscapes that surprise first-time visitors. The most common mistake tourists make is building an entire Germany trip around just one or two famous cities, then leaving thinking they got it. Germany only makes sense when you let it change on you. A simple travel upgrade. Decide what Germany you want first: history, nature, festivals, art, nightlife, medieval towns, and then choose regions that match. The country is compact enough that you can combine 2 or 3 completely different styles of Germany in one trip without exhausting yourself. 2. When to go. Follow the festivals, not the calendar. Germany works year-round, but the experience changes dramatically by season. Winter isn't just cold weather, it's Christmas market season, and the secret is that it's not only the big cities. Tiny towns and even small villages often run their own markets, which can feel more authentic and less crowded than the famous ones. Winter can also bring carnival in some regions, which feels like Germany temporarily swaps its serious reputation for costumes, music, and chaos. Spring is for fresh air and a softer Germany. Parks come alive, and some places feel almost cinematic, like the cherry blossoms in Bonn, which turn ordinary streets into tunnels of pink. Summer is when Germany becomes outdoor first. Green spaces packed with locals, lakes and rivers becoming social hubs, hikes and day trips becoming the default plan. And fall is the season of festivals and color. Germany stacks its calendar with events, from massive beer celebrations to wine festivals and even pumpkin festivals, while landscapes shift into that golden moody look that makes every train window feel like a postcard. If you're choosing dates, don't ask, "What's the best month?" Ask, "What do I want Germany to feel like?" Cozy and glowing. Go late November to December. Wild and loud? Look at carnival dates. Outdoors and long evenings? Summer, festivals and foliage? Early fall. 3. Where to go beyond the usual 4 cities? Yes, Berlin, Hamburg, Munich and Cologne are major anchors. Berlin is a collision of history, art, museums, nightlife and modern identity. A city built from layers. Hamburg gives you water, ships, and a cooler northern mood. Cologne is dominated by its cathedral, one of those places that feels unreal until you're standing under it. Munich feels unusually relaxed for a big city, almost like a town that accidentally became famous. Bresnan, and it is a perfect gateway to day trips toward the Alps. But here, what's the bigger point? Don't build your trip like a checklist of capitals. Germany's charm often lives in smaller places, half-timbered towns, old fortresses, castle ruins, river valleys, and regions where the food and dialect change within an hour's drive. If you only do major cities, you'll have a great trip. If you mix cities with smaller stops, you'll understand the country. 4. Hotels. Why your usual chains disappear. and that's good news. In big German cities, you'll see the international hotel brands you already know. But as soon as you head into smaller towns, the landscape changes. The famous chain names become rare, and you end up choosing local guest houses, small hotels, and family-run places. For many Americans, that feels risky at first. In reality, it's often the best part of the trip. More character, more local atmosphere, and often better value. If you want a practical middle ground, one budget-friendly German chain that comes up again and again is Motel 1. Typically small rooms, stylish design, and good locations for the price. But don't be afraid of guest houses. Germany does simple and clean very well, and you'll often get a more personal experience than in a big corporate hotel. 5. Transport. The secret language of trains. Germany is built for moving around without a car. Trains and buses connect the country with surprising reach. The trick is understanding what you're buying. High-speed trains like ICE are the fast, premium option connecting major cities. They're great, but prices rise if you book late, and reserving a seat can save you a stressful ride. Intercity trains sit in the middle, faster than regional, less premium than ICE, often a solid compromise. Regional trains are slower, cheaper, and perfect for day trips within a region. They don't work like airplane seating. You get on and take what you can find. Suburban trains, often marked with an S, are your city-to-suburb workhorses and are surprisingly useful for quick day trips. 2 traveler hacks from experienced visitors. First, look for regional day tickets when you're doing multiple trips in one area. They can be a huge money saver, especially for groups. Second, be realistic about delays. German trains can be excellent, but delays do happen, especially on routes that pass through the middle of the network. The bright side is that if a train is significantly late, you may be entitled to compensation. It's bureaucratic, but it exists, and it can be worth it. 6. The monthly ticket that can change your whole route. If you are traveling around Germany for more than a few days and you plan to use local and regional transport a lot, there's a monthly option that can be shockingly cost-effective: the Deutschland ticket. It gives you access to local public transportation across the country for a flat monthly price, and it can completely change how adventurous you can be with day trips. But there's one tourist trap detail: it's usually sold as a subscription. That means you must remember to cancel it properly when you leave Germany, or it can keep renewing. It's an amazing tool if you understand the fine print. 7. City transport. Why zones matter more than your pride. In many German cities, tickets are tied to zones. Berlin is the classic example, split into zones like A, B, and C. If you buy the wrong zone ticket, you don't get partial credit. The system is designed for precision. Before you buy, check where your destination sits. Once you learn the zone logic, city transport becomes extremely easy. Trams, buses, subways, suburban trains, all stitched into one network that usually works like a machine. And one more practical detail: taxis in big cities are easy and typically reliable if you book through apps. Pricing is either metered or set in the app, which removes a lot of the anxiety travelers have in unfamiliar places. 8. The Christmas market. Trick that confuses everyone: PFAND. Let's go back to that €3 becomes 6 moment. Germany uses a deposit system called Pfand. You pay an extra amount on certain bottles and cans, and you get it back when you return the container. But tourists most often meet Pfand in the most emotional setting: Christmas markets. A drink might be advertised for a low price, then you discover there's a deposit on the mug. That deposit isn't a scam. It is an incentive to return the cup instead of leaving a mountain of trash. Sometimes you will even get a small token linked to your cup, so the return process stays organized. Once you understand Pfand, Germany suddenly feels less confusing, and you stop accidentally overpaying. 9. Restaurants. Water, the bill, and how not to feel awkward. American restaurant habits don't map cleanly onto Germany. Tap water is safe to drink, but in many restaurants, if you ask for water, the default assumption is bottled water, still or sparkling, and it is not treated as a free automatic add-on. If you specifically want tap water, you can ask for it by name, but understand that it's not culturally automatic the way it is in the US. Another detail that confuses tourists: servers often won't bring the bill until you ask. It's not neglect, it's the opposite. The idea is to avoid rushing you. So when you're ready, make eye contact, give a small gesture, and ask for the check. 10. Beer gardens. Self-service is the whole point. Beer gardens can feel intimidating if you expect American-style table service. In many places, the vibe is communal and self-directed. You order at a counter, pick up your drinks and food, and find your seat. It's casual, social, and designed for long conversations and slow evenings. Once you understand the flow, beer gardens become one of the easiest places to feel the German version of relaxed. 11. Museum hacks. How to pay less without feeling cheap. Germany's big cities can get expensive if you pay full price for every attraction. A practical option is a city pass when you plan to hit many paid sites in a short time. But a better trick many tourists miss is museum days. Some cities and museums offer special discount days, sometimes extremely cheap entry, sometimes even free admission on specific dates. Planning one museum-heavy day around these discounts can cut costs dramatically and leave you with more budget for experiences that actually feel like travel. 12. Culture. The stare, the volume, and the small talk problem. A common American culture shock in Germany is the feeling of being watched. Germans can stare more openly than Americans are used to, and it's not necessarily aggressive. It's often simple observation. The best response is to not overthink it. Another difference is volume. German public spaces, especially public transport, can be noticeably quieter, and loud American-style conversation stands out fast. If the train car feels silent, take it as a cue. And small talk is not the default social glue. Politeness exists, but it's more practical, clear, direct, no extra performance. If the cashier doesn't chat, that's not hostility, that's normal. 13. Privacy. Why photos can turn into a problem. Germany takes personal privacy seriously, and that can surprise tourists who are used to filming everywhere. If people think they're being recorded, you may get confronted. The easiest rule is simple. Avoid filming strangers as background and be mindful in places like public transport. If you want a clean shot, wait a moment. Germany is incredibly photogenic. You just have to respect that people don't want to become content without consent. 14. The nudity surprise. Parks, spas, and this is normal here. There's a stereotype that Germany is uptight. And then you visit in summer and realize many Germans are extremely relaxed about the human body. In some parks, nudity can appear casually. In many spas and saunas, nudity is common, and in certain areas, it can even be required for hygiene reasons. For Americans, this can be one of the biggest surprises of the trip. The key is not to panic or laugh or treat it as a spectacle. Think of it like a cultural setting with different rules. If you're unsure, watch what others do, follow the posted signs, and treat it with calm neutrality. Once you do, it stops being shocking and starts feeling oddly normal. 15. Safety but with a realistic warning. Germany is generally safe, but don't confuse safe with nothing ever happens. In crowded tourist areas and busy transit hubs, keep an eye on your belongings. Most problems tourists face are the universal ones: distraction theft, crowded events, and moments when you're tired and not paying attention. 16. A small language section that actually helps. Now we can talk about language. Not to make you fluent, but to make you functional. If you speak no German, learn 3 words before you land. Bitte, please, danke, thank you, and verboten, forbidden. The first opens conversations, the second keeps them friendly, and the third can literally keep you out of trouble. Add one more that helps in real crowds. Entschuldigung. Excuse me. It works when you bump into someone, when you need to slide past, and when you want to ask a quick question without sounding demanding. And one etiquette move Germans appreciate. Before launching into English, ask if someone speaks English. Most people do, especially in cities, but asking first is seen as respectful. Germany becomes easy the moment you stop expecting it to behave like the US. The country runs on clear systems: transport, deposits, museum pricing, even social etiquette. When you understand the logic, you stop fighting the trip and start enjoying it. You'll spend less money, avoid awkward moments, and you'll notice something beautiful. Germany doesn't try to charm you. It just works. And once you learn how it works, it can be one of the smoothest, most satisfying countries in the world to travel. If this guide helped you travel smarter, subscribe for more stories and practical travel secrets from around the world.